Hey guys, so today I'll be doing a review of the 1144 first grade RX-78 Gundam. Out of the box, the kit itself comes molded in just one color, which is the greenish off-white color for the whole body itself, including the joints and the weapons. So you need to paint a lot of it to make it more anime accurate or line art accurate. So I decided to just paint it into the normal rollout color version because I already have other kits of the same mobile suit in the normal RX-78 color, so I decided to make it into a different version. So I painted the red vents and the cockpit hatch, the red details on the head, and then the eyes as well were also painted because this kit didn't come with any stickers. And then I also painted the red and yellow on the middle of the crotch here, the silver on the front skirts and the side skirts, silver on the stomach here, silver on the neck collar here, silver on the beam saber handles, and majority of the head is painted silver as well. The upper arms are painted silver, the joints and the hands are painted silver or gray, as well as the beam rifle here. The upper legs are painted silver, the shins here are painted silver as well, and then the feet are painted silver and red. And then the shield itself is also painted silver, red, and yellow, as well as the gray on the backpack. As for the kit's accessories, it comes with only these guys because it only has the beam rifle, the shield, and the beam sabers, although the beam sabers, if I can get them removed, are just ball jointed. So you cannot insert any beam effect parts on the handle here, which is unfortunate. And they gave you a beam saber, which is a stick, but since I've got this kit from I think a long time ago, I misplaced the beam saber, so I cannot find it anymore. And then for the beam rifle, this beam rifle is not originally the beam rifle that comes with the kit. This beam rifle came with the very first entry grade RX-78, which is released I think around 2009, and it's much bigger than the original beam rifle of the RX-78 first grade. And this is it. This is the original first grade beam rifle, and you can see the difference between the two in terms of the size and overall detail of it. So I decided to not paint it and use it on this kit because it's too small and thin, although this is also thinner than this guy, but it's much more detailed and much bigger than the first grade beam rifle here, so I decided to just use this beam rifle instead. And it doesn't have any extra hands as well. And then as for the shield, it's just being held by the hand here on a handle, so you can see, and it's all molded in white or greenish off white color, and it's very detailed inside. You can just paint it into gray to make it more accurate, I guess. And there's another peg here on the back, so you can store it on the backpack when it's not being used, just like so. So those are the only accessories that this kit has. As for articulation, this kit is very limited because again it's an old kit, but it's much better than the old first grade, which was released in 1979. They greatly improved the articulation of this guy because the design is much better and much more slender than the old first grade kit. So for the head, the neck is on a mushroom peg coming from the whole neck here going to the torso, because the neck joint and the head are all connected in one piece, and it doesn't have any forward and back or side to side motion, but it has full rotation for the head here. And then for the arms, the shoulder armor here has a mushroom peg again going inside the torso, so it can only rotate all the way around and no forward and back or up and down motion. And then the arm here, there's a separate joint inside the shoulder, which lets it move up about that far. There's also a little bit of rotation on the bicep because again there's a mushroom peg coming from the shoulder joint going to the upper arm, and then the elbow joint here can only bend about that far, which is much better than the old first grade kit, which only bends I think around that far because of the design of the arm itself, if I'm not mistaken. And the hands are on pegs so they can rotate and wiggle a little bit on the joint. As for the torso, first off, the beam sabers are on ball joints, which lets them move forward and back and side to side. And then for the torso here, they are connected to the waist area here, so they are all one piece that you just sandwich together. So it doesn't have any rotation on the upper waist here as well as the torso, because again it's a one piece or two piece part that's sandwiched together. And then for the legs or the hips, the moving part is on the inside of the waist here. There's a L-shaped peg going from the middle of the crotch up to the leg here, which lets it move up and down about that far, which is weird because we are used to the joint being on the leg instead of the middle of the crotch here, because sometimes the gimmicks or the movement coming from the middle piece here is for gimmicks only. So it's very weird that the main movement of the leg is coming from the middle of the waist area instead of the leg itself. And also the leg can only go about that far forward and that far back because the front skirt, side skirt, and back skirt are fixed pose with the whole torso here or the whole body. And then for the knees, they can bend about 90 degrees. And then for the foot, they can only drop down that far and move up to have a static pose. And it doesn't have any side to side or rotation because it's just a single joint. And the foot itself is on an angle, so you can pose it just standing there looking menacing. So yeah, it's very limited in terms of articulation. So here is the first grade RX-78 next to the old entry grade RX-78 Gundam, which was released in 2009. So this guy is very limited in terms of posability and color scheme, but not as bad as the colors of the kit itself here on the first grade. But in terms of articulation, this is much limited than this guy here. Then here is next to the high grade Revive RX-78, the high grade 30th anniversary RX-78, the Beyond Global RX-78, the Origin RX-78, and last but not the least, the recently released entry grade RX-78, which is much better than the first grade here, but in terms of pricing, they're almost the same. This guy is much expensive, around I think 100 yen than this guy. So yeah, pick up this one instead of this if you want to have a much accurate RX-78. But if you want to challenge yourself, get this guy. Overall, if you want to have an RX-782 Gundam, don't get this guy because it's very limited in terms of color separation as well as gimmicks and articulation. So if you want to have a much better version, just get the high grade or the entry grade and just skip out of this guy. But if you want to challenge yourself in terms of your skills as a hobbyist, you can buy this kit if you can still find it because it's a little bit hard to find Although they might re-release this kit to coincide with the release of the new real grade RX-78 as well as the newer vintage version of the RX-78, which is in the entry grade version. So you might have a chance to get this guy and paint it whatever you want or do whatever you want with it, because this guy is very easy to modify because the joints are simple and the parts are just two pieces for each limb, like two pieces for the foot, two pieces for the lower leg, two pieces for the, or one piece for the upper leg here, and then two pieces for the whole torso, two pieces for the head, or three pieces if you include the V-fin. And then the arms are, I think, around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces for the whole arm. Then one piece for the beam rifle and the shield are two pieces, and one piece or three pieces for the backpack. So it's a very simple kit. And in terms of the design of the kit itself, it's based off of the perfect grade RX-78, which was released at the same time as this guy for the 20th anniversary of Gundam. And the design of it is very different from the very first grade. If you've seen the recently announced entry grade RX-78, that is the same design as the very first grade, which is different from this guy. But in terms of mobility and color separation, they are the same, and the price are also the same. The design is the only difference between the two kits. So yeah. So that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!